Faith, hope, charity, these things I must keep in mind as I wait for Jingles to honor me with his presence. Faith. In what? In myself, perhaps? In Ariel to protect me? Faith that Jingles still has some of the goodness in him, or at the very least, memory of goodness that I can bring forth. At least long enough to find out where Lazar is. Then there is hope. Hope. Hope that all this running around will do some good somehow. Hope that I can succeed. Charity. Given of myself, perhaps? Willing to look past my own welfare and take on another's burdens? All these things I's got to keep in mind when I confront Jingles now, or else, like I've been told, I's going nowhere with Jingles. Without learning where Lazar is, this adventure is over, and Jingles will turn me over to MT as soon as he can. I's got to reach him, I's got to. Well, Bunson, I don't know what you're trying to achieve by coming here. You must be out of your mind. You know the way things are now. The fact that we're cousins won't stop me from turning you over to Captain MT whenever he returns. You sealed your fate by coming here on your own like this. I's do what's I's got to do, Jingles. You talk about fate. Yet do you even understand what fate is? It's accepting responsibility for your actions and doing whatever you can to make things right again. I's made a lot of mistakes in my life, Jingles, and I's only trying to do what I need to do to set things right again. Talk is cheap, Bunson. Once MT gets a hold of you, you're never going to want to talk again. So I might as well do you this one last courtesy and let you talk your brains off. Go ahead, talk, if you think it will do you any good. Jingles, this here display is really nice. I was not expecting you to hold dear anything over the course of your life. Now that you's working for MT anyway. Yet, you've got this studio prop right here. Prominently displayed, too. The prop was used for the very first episode of Lazar and Jingles. So you still got something inside you that is an echo of what used to be. That was a really nice surprise to find. Don't be so sentimental, Bunson. I've got this on display as a reminder to me of the weakness I used to possess and the strength I have now. It's a reminder to me to grab a hold of destiny and twist it to my will, not as a reminder to a past, useless and boring, going nowhere fast, without direction, without purpose. My life, my destiny is all mine now. Don't you forget that, cousin. Says what you will, Jingles, but I knows better. I knows you, Jingles. I's known you's longer than anybody else. I's known the person you were. I sees the person you's is now. If you's ask me, and you's hasn't, you's was much better off in the past, with your family and friends. But I's guess that's all really past now. You's working for that misfit alien with a huge inferiority complex. I's doing what I's doing. Still, our paths have crossed, and both our destinies have brought us to this minute in time. If only for that, I's grateful to fate for that chance. Why would you care to talk to me? I'm going to turn you over to your enemy. Why are you grateful for this? Because, Jingles, I wants to tell you something. If it means getting me turned over to MT, so be it. But it will be worth being placed in his custody for this chance to tell you what I's got to say. Jingles, listen to me, and listen good. Just because somebody tells you something, that don't make it true. Some people out there, like MT, why, they has a way with words, a way which tells us what we wants to hear. They use colorful language and elegant style, and because they's telling us what we wants to hear, we believe them. We assume what they say is the truth, even if there is not one iota of evidence backing up what they say. We believe it. Yous can't accept everything you hear, Jingles. Yous just can't, no matter how much you like what you may be hearing. Remember that old saying, cousin? Believe half of what you see, nothing you hear, everything you say. How's many times has yous said those exact words to me? If yous don't honor that saying, if yous believe all the garbage that someone like MT tells you, you may eventually wind up alone, all alone, without a friend in the whole universe. Remember this prop, Jingles? Remember when we done made that first show, how excited we was? It seems so long ago now, don't it? Why, it's been almost 2 years. Look at all that's happened from that show. Since that show. Remember when you got Lazar out of that jam with Fletcher the bully? Remember even earlier when you taught him how to have a dinner party? Or when you helped him understand the importance of sleep? You've done so much for your friend, because he's your friend and for no other reason. You didn't want to be repaid. You did it because you wanted Lazar's life to be better. Now look at you. Look where you are. Where we are. Ever since I invented that dang blasted transporter, our lives have been a mess. It's all my fault, I admit it. I was trying to make things right. Here, I's brought something for yous, Jingles. Something for yous to watch. Ariel, could you transfer the film we discussed to Jingles' monitor, please? Thanks, Ariel.
They got a bigger line than we do, too.
I don't think we have to worry about it, though. If Dean can hit Andy with a couple passes, we'll be in.
Yeah, it works all right.
Hey, you guys want to hear something?
That depends on what it is.
Well, this is too good to keep. The other night I was out with Susan Harper.
Susan?
Yeah. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. You're not going steady with her, are you?
No.
Oh, well, in that case, I stay at home from the library.
Susan said that?
Yeah, that's what she said.
No kidding.
No. Yeah. Hey, there's the bell. We better
Well, I got it. Easy, guys. See you practice.
I think he's just bragging. I doubt if he even had a date with Susan. Mel's the kind of guy who'd say anything to get some attention. See you at practice.
This looks pretty good. Why don't we stay right here, Susan?
Fine. Let's see. I'll ask you some questions from the end of the chapter. Then you can ask me some.
Okay.
Ready? Why is force a vector quantity?
Because it has both magnitude and direction.
That's right. Now, what instrument is normally used for measuring force? That's the next question, Dean. What instrument is normally used for measuring force?
Susan, did you go out with Mel Stone?
Why, no. Why?
I just wondered.
He gave me a ride home from the library the other night. That's all. I don't like him very much. He kept telling me about all the girls he'd been out with. Here, I think you better ask me the questions for a while.
Okay. Let's see. Well, here's one. Why don't you give me Newton's first law?
Oh, I hope I can remember that.
Page 80. You know you're boning up on the wrong thing, don't you?
The test covers pages 70 to 80. That's what Miss Adams told us.
Yeah, I know. That's what she told everybody. But I took the test second hour this morning. I can tell you what the questions really are.
I suppose the honor system applies to everybody but you and me.
Okay, I was just trying to do a friend a favor.
Excuse me, I see Marilyn, and I want to give her back the pen I borrowed. Bye, Dean.
Bye, Susan.
Boy, she sure is a nice-looking girl.
She's nice, period.
Oh, hey, Dean. Hey, Dean. How's football practice coming?
We keep at it.
Yeah, I was watching scrimmage the other day. You look real good. You know that long pass you threw? How long was that? 35 yards?
I don't know. It might have been.
Yeah, it might have been if Andy caught us. You know, I'm crazy about football. I always have been. I used to play it all the time when I was little. Only thing, I stayed little. But, you know, I never got over liking it. I bet I know those plays as well as you guys do. I mean, I watch them that close.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's how come I can spot it when somebody's not doing his job, like Andy not catching that pass. I wonder if the coach knows Andy's breaking training.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I thought you'd be interested. I thought you'd like to know where the foul-up is, because you can't win that game with East High by yourself, and Andy's letting you down.
Listen, Mel, you start spreading guff like that around, and I'll personally shut you up.
It's not guff. It's true. The other night at 10:30, I saw him walking down Jefferson Street, and he's supposed to be in bed at 10. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was the night I took Susan home from the library. Ask her if you don't believe me. How I was coming back from taking her home when I saw it. I think somebody ought to tell the coach, don't you?
I told you, if you start spreading anything against
Oh,
Andy...
me? Well, why should I tell the coach anything? It's your team.
Oh, forget it.
Okay, suit yourself. I still think you ought to tell him.
Go, gang. Hut one. Hut two.
Take it easy, Andy. We'll get it next time.
Okay.
Was it a rough one today, or was it a rough one?
Well, I guess.
Do you start things yet? Did you discuss that?
No, I think I'll start tomorrow.
See you, Dean. Andy.
Friday.
Okay, gang.
Bye, Andy. Say, Andy,
Yeah?
have you been staying up late at night or something?
Who told you?
Nobody has to tell me your timing's all off. You act like you're all tired out or something.
I get plenty of sleep.
Andy?
Look, Dean, I wasn't actually lying to you. I've got to do this. Believe me, I've got to.
I don't get it. You know how important that game is, and you know what the training rules are.
You bet I know how important that game is. And that's why I've been out walking late at night when nobody could see me. But I didn't lie. I get plenty of sleep. I take a nap every night, right after supper, before I start studying. I just go out for a walk just before I go to bed.
But why?
That bad knee. In the last game, I got it twisted, just a little bit. But you know what the coach said. If it ever bothered me again, I was through. I just couldn't let him or anybody see me exercising it. I've had to do the work on my own.
Andy, you might be hurting yourself. I think you better tell the team doctor.
And get sidelined? No, sir. I know what I'm doing. Tomorrow's my last game, and I intend to play in it. The walking I've been doing is working. That knee's a lot better than it was 3 days ago.
I still don't like it. I wish you'd tell the coach or the doctor.
I'll be all right, Dean. Don't worry about me. You'd better worry about getting home and getting some sleep yourself. You didn't have a nap after supper.
Wouldn't you know it? Mel Stone.
Do you think he saw us?
I think he saw us.
Third down on the 27-yard line.
My, our All-American boys are getting clobbered.
Pass interception and touchdown for East High by 6. The kick was no good.
Come on, gang, let's go!
First and 10 on the 35-yard line. The ball carrier is Wilson, number 11.
It's Andy. He's hurt.
Get up, Andy!
The injured player is Andy McGuire.
Come on, gang, get with it. Come on, you guys. Quit loafing. You're not hurt. Let's play ball.
Is he hurt or just tired? I may have to ask that little question at the dance tonight.
Golly, everybody's sort of quiet tonight. I guess they're tired after the game.
Susan, you can't have much of a victory celebration without a victory.
Don't feel badly. We all knew they were going to be tough. I just hope Andy isn't hurt seriously. Uh-oh, look who's coming.
Oh, why so glum, football hero? You didn't actually expect to win against guys who stick to training, did you?
Mel.
That's right, Susan. You don't know about Dean and Andy, do you?
I know they played a hard game against a team that was a lot bigger than they were.
Let it go, Susan. It doesn't matter.
Well, it does to me. You know what I think of you, Mel. I think you're just plain jealous of Dean and Andy. They're athletes, and they get along well in class. And everybody likes them. And you just can't stand that.
Boy, she's really sold on you, isn't she? I guess you didn't tell her where you were late last night. I guess she doesn't know why you played such a rotten game.
Dean, what's he talking about?
Why don't you get lost, Mel? What good is all this doing you anyway?
Did you hear? The lady wants to know what I'm talking about.
I don't want to hear it.
Sure you do. You're just dying to hear it. As a matter of fact, everybody here is dying to hear it. Go ahead, make a speech, hero.
Please, Mel.
Are you going to speak up, Deanie boy, or shall I tell?
You're bothering us. Beat it.
In almost every group you find him, the troublemaker, who hurts himself and the others around him. What makes a person like Mel act the way he does? Is the group ever at fault? How would you cope with someone like Mel in your group? Could you help him? What do you think?
Jingles, don't you see? You, I, Lazar, we's all got to hold true to what we knows is right. Doing things that are selfish in nature, that will only lead to disappointment. Being selfish, it don't do yous no good. It won't impress anyone. It's not to lift your social standing in any case or place. All it's going to do is make those around you hate yous and despise being anywhere near you. Mistrust, then ultimately solitude. Nobody's going to trust someone that ain't on the up and up with them. Nobody's going to trust anyone who's trying to take advantage of them. They's going to avoid you. Jingles, things look all right now, 'cause it's all so new. But eventually, someday if yous continue on this path, there ain't going to be one single person standing around you. Yeah, yous got MT's yes men cheering yous on right now, inflating your ego. But one day yous is going to screw up, and MT is going to kick yous out, and those yes men will forget yous ever existed. What do you want me to say, Bunson? That I agree with you? That you are wrong? That I know all of this already and there's nothing I can do about it? Honestly, Bunson, What you say may or may not be true. Even if it is, what do you expect me to do about it? I've cast my lot in with MT, and it's not something anyone does halfway. Either I finish what I started, or, as you said, I get cast out. My turn to walk the plank. Oz don't want you to do or say anything, Jingles. Oz knows the spot you're in, and Oz knows ultimately you'll do whatever it is you feel you have to do. But if you can just do me one favor, maybe, just maybe, things can change. If you'll just do one thing for me. What is it you want, Bunson? You know I cannot help you. I cannot release you. I must turn you over to Captain MT. You sealed your own fate when you came aboard. How can I help change things as you suggest? Don't worry about that. After all, things are like you say. I'm here. I'm your prisoner until MT arrives. So's why not think of this like you offer me a last request? Of a sort. That should be doable, Bunson. As long as your last request is not out of line. I won't take the fall so you can escape. Oz knows that, Jingles. All I want is to know one thing, just one thing. A request for information? Since you are going to be MT's prisoner shortly, that I can give you. Ask whatever you like. Oz needs to know where Lazar is. What's happened to him? He's gone missing. Lazar, that fool, he got what was coming to him. It wasn't ridiculous enough that he went around restaurants loosening the tops off of salt shakers. A week ago, someone remembered the news reports about what Lazar was doing and checked his salt shaker before he tipped it over his food. Lazar got so angry that he went and took a whole bucket of salt and dumped it on the man. Lazar didn't know it at the time, even though he should have. The man was in his uniform after all. But the person Lazar assaulted with the salt was a police officer, caught and thrown in jail. In jail? Lazar? No! Lazar, yes. That idiot was a loose cannon. I thought about returning to Earth to bail him out, but the more selfish he gets, the more of a liability he becomes. When this all started, Lazar did distract some of Waterford's more intelligent in their hate of his antics. His YouTube clips also served as a distraction to the misery slowly enveloping the town. However, Lazar is better off in jail. He's out of control, won't listen to orders, and is all about himself. I know that's the idea of MT's plan, but it makes for poor subordinates. Lazar knows too much. He's a loose cannon, so no, I left him in jail. Until this plan is over, that's where he's best off. For himself and for us. This has gone too far. We can't allow anything or anyone to stop MT's plan now. Even if only an accident. Especially a fool like Lazar. Salt shakers, honestly. You're right, Jingles. This has gone too far. Ariel, send me to Earth. Waterford's main jail. Ariel, what? Bunson, get back here this instant. Bunson!
Hey, guard. What am I supposed to do in here all day long? There aren't even any salt and pepper shakers in here to play with. What do you expect people to do while you keep them waiting for a judge to finish his lunch? Just think, a perfectly good meal going to waste, without being destroyed by a loose salt shaker top. Oh, the humanity of it! The humanity of it! The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, cruel and unusual punishment.
Well, well, well. Lazar, I knew you'd wind up here one day. Going as you was going, there was never any doubt in my mind that one day I'd find you behind bars. What have you got to say for yourself, Lazar?